Right on, writers, and welcome first-time viewers to the Books by Adrian author platform. This is Chronicles. This is normally a proper YouTube video. I didn't have a chance this week to record this week's video, so we're doing it live. Hi, welcome. I see the novel Nana's already here in the chat. Hello. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, man, the holidays have made things a little weird, a little crazy. Amelia, buenas. So yeah, so I fell behind on some work, and I've been heavily editing my novel and working, like focusing on that really hard. So this week got away from me. So we're doing this live. It was supposed to be a Authortube Worldbuilding Tag. So we're going to do that sporadically throughout the episode. I'm going to talk to you guys in the chat. You guys can ask me questions if you want. We'll play this whole thing by ear and see how this goes. Okay, so Chronicles. It's an opportunity for me to flex my muscles a little bit with this whole thing and doing it solo. I was hella awkward on the one live stream Sunday that I was forced to do solo, and I'm hella awkward on the Chronicles videos. So I'm trying to get less awkward. And hold on one second. What's up? Oh. Alrighty, here you go. Sorry, husband stuff. So we're giving this a go. We're gonna try to get a little more comfortable in our own skin here. I keep saying our, but I mean my. And I recently recorded a video for an unboxing for the Authortube Secret Santa for 2021, and that video, I'm like, it's not gonna come out for quite a while, but I'm already really proud of it because I felt a little more relaxed and a little more comfortable. Fair warning, me being more myself on screen usually means that there's a lot more swearing. I tend to be kind of a potty mouth, so I apologize. But you know, it's an adult channel. Deal with it. Okay, let's say hi to people. Chris, Kenny, and Amelia are newlyweds, so congratulations to you guys. Mazel tov, and man, I wish you guys all the happiness in the world. Congratulations. It looked like you guys had a fucking blast. Novel Nana. Oh, questions already. Okay, we'll get to those in a second. Husband stuff. Yeah. So yeah, man. Welcome everyone. Hello. And let's get started. We're going to do the first Authortube World Building Tag question. This is cool because I don't have to wear the headphones. I'm not talking to anybody. So I can, like, I don't have these pressure-filled hot headphones. Name an author who is good at world building. An author who is good at world building. My answer that I wrote down when this was going to be a scripted thing was, from your Tolkiens to your Martins and everyone in between, there are so many greats to shout out here, but I think the one that has been the most influential on me and the Mythic series in general is Michael Crichton. He creates a whole world in a single location. So that's what I love about him. Like, whether we're talking about Jurassic Park, where he's focusing on the island, or Sphere, where it's the underwater habitat, or any of these like unique kind of locations that he has in his books, he always like world builds the fuck out of this one place. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from, where, like, wherever you're at, I'm going to try to give you as much detail as appropriate in my story, but I'm not trying to like overwhelm anybody with my world building. I always want it to be organic and serve the story and the plot and all that kind of good stuff. So that's where I'm coming from with Michael Crichton. So that's the first one down. Let's turn to Novel Nana's question. What was this? How much time do you spend in the editing phase with expansion or consistency pertaining to world building? Okay, so in the editing phase, which I'm still in right now for my first draft, world building is one of the things that I focus the most on because it's one of the things that I neglect the most when I'm writing my first draft. I care most about the characters at all times. I care most about the dialogue at all times. So even though I have grand ideas for the world building, I don't get bogged down in that stuff when I'm writing my first draft. So most of my world building is going to be done in the editing phase. Not that it's just being done then. Like I've already done it in my plotting phase, in my outlining phase. I've done some world building, and I do some while I'm writing, but everything that I had planned finally comes to fruition in the editing phase. That's where I really like fulfill the world, so to speak. So that was a good question. Awesome. That massive glass of water again. Okay, first of all, this is a massive mug of coffee. And this is what I'm talking about, by the way, for folks at home. And this is a massive glass of water. And this is its buddy for when I run out of the first one. Hydration is important. I drink a lot of coffee, and coffee dehydrates you, so drink a lot of water. What irks you most about world building or the lack thereof while reading? The lack thereof is probably where I'm going to focus on the most there, because yes, you want the world building to always serve the story, but especially when I'm reading somebody else's work, I want you to immerse me in your world. Like there still needs to be a certain amount of work put into that, because that's when I'm writing, I care most about the characters, but when I'm reading, I want it all. I want characters, I want world building, all the stuff. So yeah, that's what irks me the most is when there's too little. When there's too little world building, where you're just like, especially if it's like a real world setting, where the work is kind of done for you. We all live in this world. You can kind of piggyback off of that, but I still expect you to do something, interesting with it. I don't know. Hey, I'm doing something new with the lighting. Tell me what you guys think. It's partly in an effort to mask a massive zit on my face somewhere. but I actually kind of like it. I think it looks kind of cozy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Okay. Nana's got the questions. Do you believe that there is such a thing as too much world building? Yes. Yes. That one of these Authortube world building questions is going to actually, it's the next one. So let's pull that up. Novel Nana getting ahead of me here. Here we go. I'm not wearing my headphones and I can still hear it. Okay. Name a detail or thing in a book which functioned only to help the world building. I consider this very similar to what you're asking, Nana, about too much world building. So too much world building to me is the same thing as something that only serves for world building, which means something that does absolutely nothing to serve the story. The biggest example that I can think of this that most people will know is in the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, Tom Bombadil. Great character, really fun little sequence that they have with him. But if you lift his entire section out of the story, nothing changes. Absolutely nothing changes. He doesn't contribute anything to the story, doesn't take anything away from it. He is neutral in all things, including the politics of the world. Like he's seems a benevolent character, but he doesn't go oppose the Dark Lord either. He is Switzerland. He's just like an island in the world building, because he's part of the world building then. Because if he doesn't serve the story, then all he is a magical being that we're very curious about, that we want to know more about, something that's been here for ages. This dude has been here a long fucking time. This guy, Tom Bombadil, is part of the mythology of Lord of the Rings, part of Middle Earth. He is part of the world building. He serves the world building and absolutely nothing else. So that's the biggest example I can think of that. So, thank you, Tolkien, for that. But it's weird because, again, I'll point out that if you look at every aspect of his character, he's essentially neutral in everything. He's just neutral. So, like, does that then justify his position in the story? Because somebody, a truly neutral being wouldn't actually affect the story, would he? I don't know. Maybe Tolkien is a freaking genius, and I'm a dum dum for criticizing him. What do I know? Amelia's got a question. Ooh, Amelia's got a question. What is it? What is it? Remove. All right. Do you think you have a signature style to your writing? Is there something you do consciously or subconsciously in everything you write? I don't know. I suppose that I'm still a new enough writer that maybe I do and I don't know it yet, or I don't yet because I'm inexperienced. I don't know. I guess you guys would have to tell me when you start reading my stuff. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. Damn it, Amelia, you've stumped me. Signature style. Okay, so, well, I've been complimented on my dialogue. It used to be my biggest weakness, I believe. I used to suck major balls at dialogue, but I worked on it so much that now I feel pretty confident in it. And it's so in the way that, like, maybe not exactly in the way that but how, like, Kevin Smith is known for his dialogue, like his movies are just talking heads talking at each other. um I don't I don't think that I'm quite that because I have so much else going on, but I have a feeling that I'm going to be pointed to for my dialogue more than anything else anyway. So maybe that's part of my style. It's dialogue heavy stuff. Chris, what you got, bro? Do you like to leave elements of world building empty for the audience to make up their own theories? Yes, but I also consider those same things opportunities to for world building later on. Um, I intend on having, especially in the second book, when we spend a lot of time on the planet versus the spark. Uh, in that second book, we're going to explore that planet a lot, and we're going to see a lot of stuff that is there because of civilizations that are there now, and we're going to run into stuff that are ruins or ancient from civilizations past. And so, yes, some of that is meant to be like open to interpretation and for you to kind of fill in. But I intentionally leave little clues as to what I want them to be, you know, and if when I'm writing the third book, for example, I return to that spot, or I find I have a great idea for how to incorporate. Like I'll fill it in. You know what I mean? Like I'll still use it and take your theories away from you. But yeah. While world building, what are your top five aspects you include? Top five aspects of world building. Interesting question. Ooh, I'm in the hot seat. Okay, these are better questions than the other two world building tag questions. Okay, so top five aspects that you include. So I really like uh, playing with nature. I really like developing cool and interesting landmarks. I like creating history, as I said earlier, just by putting, like, the ruins of an ancient temple somewhere. Like, you're creating history, whether you delve into what that history is or not. You know, uh, world building. Two more things. Okay, so history. Da, 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 da. What else we got? We got Nana. I wasn't prepared for Nana's questions today. Two more aspects of world building. I don't even know what to throw at you. Okay, so I also consider any kind of, like, especially if you're writing a fantasy, for example, if you have magical creatures or fantasy creatures or mythical characters and stuff like that, that's part of your world building, right? Like, we in the real world, black bears aren't everywhere. They are in certain places. Elephants are not everywhere. They are in certain places. So by creating creatures and magical beings and things like that, you're adding to the world building. You know, adding territories and things. It's getting bogged down, but that and of course, when it comes to world building, I love including the people of the story in it. It's part of how you achieve good diversity, in my opinion, is by incorporating the people into the world building. So, boom, five, boom. You always have that ice water. I'm really like far behind on the comments here. You guys have been at it. Hydration is important. Adrian out here educating the world. Love you guys. I can't see the zit. The lighting works. Success. The lighting stays. This is my new lighting. All right. Such as industry, economics, vegetation, landscape. Oh, okay. All right. So that makes more sense. Built too much. You might be right. You might be right. Uh, I also think that I was watching a Bill Burr stand up special the other day, and he was talking about Elvis and how he was the first star of his kind in his day, because he was the first like musical star to kind of clash at the same time with TV. Like they both exploded at the same time, and so he was the biggest thing in the world, and therefore he made all the mistakes because he was the first one. He didn't have anybody to look back to. He didn't have anybody to help him out with learning how to be super famous, the most famous person on the planet. You know what I mean? Like before long, he started going bonkers. So I feel the same way kind of about Tolkien. You know what I mean? He's that dude that like he did the thing bigger than anyone had ever done it before. Did he go too big? Maybe not. But he was the first one to he was shooting for the he was going hard. We go hard on Earth. My little Dicky fans out there, we go hard on Earth. The Ents were overdone to me. Wow. I like the Ents. Tomato, tomato. He was an enjoyable. Yes, he's a very enjoyable read. I never skip that part of the story when I'm rereading. I'm not knocking good old Tom. I'm just saying he doesn't progress the story. But again, maybe that's his purpose as a neutral character, to not progress the story. I don't know. It might be like low-key genius. Tom Bombadil, spot on analysis. Big clue is that Peter Jackson omitted the character entirely from the film as it didn't serve any purpose to the story. Right. But again, maybe that's his purpose. Oh, I'm breaking my own brain. Yes, about the ends. Chris used to use parentheses without realizing. But using a lot of parentheses isn't a style, is it? Like that's a thing that you catch in editing. Like, oh, I do this too much. That's not really a style. Let's see. Outside of fantasy genre, what other genre do you enjoy seeing world building on a bigger scale? Fantasy, sci-fi. Sci-fi is a big one, but again, I feel like sci-fi and fantasy are just two sides of the same coin, which is why I play with both of them in my novel. Outside of fantasy and sci-fi, horror. Like when you have like a really great horror story, he's as far as I know, he's not here yet, but Richard Holliday's Nightmare Tenant takes place in a tenement building. That's the kind of world building that I'd really, really dig. I'll point back to Haunting of Hill House. There's a hell of a lot of world building happening inside that house. You know what I mean? Like that's cool stuff. I like that. Get that bot. Oh, I didn't even see the bot. Oh, okay. Do I have wrenches in the chat? I don't think I do. Let's appoint some wrenches here. Add moderator. Add moderator. All right, Chris, where you at? There you are. Add moderator. Okay. All right. All right, get that bot, y'all. Sick 'em. Getting caught up now. All right. Is there anything when you are reading that you specifically look for with the world building? Specifically, I'm looking. I'm looking for a sense that the author loved the world that he built very, very much. That's what I'm looking for. You can tell when the author just loves playing in this sandbox that he created. Before we get back to some more questions, let's do another world building tag. Da-da-da-da-da. So we did 1 and 2, yes? So let's do 3. Do you prefer well-described characters in an underdeveloped setting, or vice versa? I don't have to look at what I wrote. I remember what I wrote. What I wrote was, ideally, you want both. You want well-developed characters, and you want well-developed world building. But again, the world building has to serve the story, and the story is in the characters. So ultimately, we're looking for well-developed characters. But yeah, I mean, I don't see why we have to like do one and not the other. Like, how about we write a great book and do both? That's a dumb question. I don't like that question. Let's see. Next question. What advice would you give an author who wants to include world building but isn't sure where to start? What would be a place they can start? First of all, I don't give advice to anybody. I'm a newbie too. I'm figuring this shit out as we go along, just as much as everybody else. But if I'm doing my best, if you want to start with world building, well, first of all, I think of it as part of the story. I think of it as part of the process of outlining. When I'm outlining, I should be world building to an extent. As stated before, you don't want to go overboard. You don't want to get lost in it. You don't want to, dedicate too much time to the world building and to the point where you're not writing. Any and all world building you do should serve the story and the progression of the plot. But if you don't know where to start, just let the plot be your guide. You know what I mean? Like, you're writing a story, your characters are in a place, build that place that they're in, and think about what could be going on outside of that place. Then your characters are going to go somewhere else. Okay, well, now build that place and think about what else could be going on outside of that place, and keep doing this every time your characters go to a new place in your outline. World build that place a little bit. Before you know it, you got a world, man. Go for it. With world building, how much is too much? If when doing an info dump, like, would you dedicate an entire paragraph to explaining how an object came to be in a certain place, just as an example? So, the the writers that I like to read, with their world building, what they tend to do is, if it doesn't matter to what's going on right now for the character, they don't bring it up, right? So, in other words, an info dump is not what you want. You don't want to dump a bunch of information on a reader all at once with no substance or emotion or progression of plot or whatever it is. Even exposition needs to fit into the general flow of your story. So, you get, for example, a character that shows up at a place, and this place is very famous in their world, and they've always wanted to be here, right? So you get a chance to paint a picture for the reader about this place through the eyes of somebody who's always wanted to see it, and he's drinking in every bit of detail, every last piece that he can soak in. He's devouring every last detail of this place, and that's a great way for you to give a bunch of information to the reader, while giving them something that's important to the character. You're telling them something about the character. The character loves this place. He's been wanting to come here all his life. This is a huge moment for him. He'll never forget this. You know, you can build the world through the eyes of your characters and therefore have it be a discovery thing. So info dumps are bad. It should always matter to your character, to the plot, to something. It should matter. It should push it forward. Hey, you have had the best questions, so keep them coming. Somebody get Richard. Throw. I'm sorry. Throw you one what? I'm confused. Oh, a wrench? Is that it? Throw you a wrench. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I was giving out the power here. Yeah. All right, what else we got? What else we got? Okay, here we go. Here we go. What is an aspect of world building that people tend to overlook? To overlook. Um, as writers or as readers? If we're talking about as writers, you know, if you've overlooked it, it means that it's missing from the story. And if it's missing from the story, from a world building aspect, if an element of world building is missing from the story, that means that there is a place or a thing or an event that you don't fully understand as the reader, and so the writer has goofed. The writer has messed up and should probably fix that and republish. I don't I don't know what specific aspect it would be though. What specific aspect of world building people tend to overlook? I don't know. I gotta figure that it would be a different thing for each writer, right? Like everybody has a different thing that they miss. I think the thing with building is that only use it when it is relevant and needed to the moment you introduce it. Yes, agreed. Agreed all around. Who are some lesser known authors that succeed at world building in your opinion? I'm not a good one to ask for this particular question only because as much as I love to read, I've been working on this novel for the last 2 years. I have not been reading a lot. Any free time I get, I try to dedicate to the crafting of this book and the channel. So I don't have a whole lot of free time to read. My answers these days would be fellow author tubers that I've been reading. I've been reading Bethany Volta, her new book Tracker. I read Forbidden by Kent Sean recently. These are shorter books that I can kind of fit in, and and I've been enjoying those very much. So as far as lesser known authors, I'm just not the one to ask right now because I'm just not like in it. I don't even know who's writing. A huge fantasy writer right now is what's his name, Patrick Rothfuss, and I recently downloaded his books from the King Killer Chronicles. I haven't started them yet, but I had never heard of him, and he's like huge right now. So like, I don't know the big guys these days. I definitely don't know the little guys. So Jennifer Brown, you get a wrench. You get a wrench. You get a wrench. Jennifer's got a wrench. All right, Richard. Feel you with the free time to read. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard, man. Like, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I have a full time job, I'm writing a novel, I'm running a channel, I'm trying to build this website thing. Like, I'm fucking busy. I'm busy. It's a lot. I really love this lighting. I think I'm going to stick to it. It's going to stick around. It's going to stick around. All right, let's do another world building tag question. What time is it? It's only 4:30. We got plenty of time. All righty. Oh, I almost forgot. I wanted to wish you guys Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And here's hoping it's a better one, right, guys? Can't get much worse. Have you ever been reading a book and enjoy the established world and rules therein, and then a sequel comes out and they aren't consistent with the world building? Doesn't that irk you? Yes, it does. It does. It happens more with movies for me than with books. Um, I like I said, reading time is limited, so I just it's easier to occasionally throw on a movie or an episode of a TV show or whatever. And yes, that's a huge one, right? Where they set up the rules or whatever, and then oh my God, like what's the most famous one? The most famous one is Twilight, right? Where they set the rules that vampires can't have babies or whatever it is, and then by the end of the fucking third book, you got a vampire having a baby and like breaks every rule established in the book. Yeah, it irks me. It irks me. But you know what? It's fucking Twilight. You know, my buddies and I used to work on this graphic novel. We'll return to it someday. But we were working on a graphic novel, and it was called Dusk, and it has nothing to do with vampires. It's a completely other, separate kind of thing. Nothing to do with vampires, but it's called Dusk, and of course, it's a similar title to Twilight. And so our motto throughout the writers' room of that thing, every time we came up with a great idea, something where we were like, "Oh man, that's fucking good!" Like we were really psyched about it. Inevitably, somebody would be like, "Fuck Twilight, this is Dusk." So stupid. Yeah, man, that's what I do. I do what I do when I do what I do, and I do what I do when I do it. Son. What are we on? Four? How much world building is too much world building? Yeah, we've covered that one. All right, we've covered that one. It's too much when it doesn't serve the story, when it's frivolous and unnecessary. What book series could benefit from more world building? More. I had an answer for that. Okay. So I'm just going to read the answer that I had. I don't know if this answer is more world building, but the Divergent series always felt to me like a missed opportunity. The districts being based on human virtues, of course, and brings thoughts of Harry Potter and the houses of Hogwarts and all that, and as well as Hunger Games with the dystopian classes society, very Hunger Games. I always thought Veronica Roth could have gone more out of the box with it. It lacked a little something special. I feel like something was missing from the world building in that book to really push it over, push it over the edge. Do. Broke out the champagne for you. You know how I do. You know how I do. All right. How much do you feel that your characters influence your world building or vice versa? Working on my YA Dark Academia, and my world is really starting to influence my characters. Uh, you know, especially when you create a very unique world, a fully original world. It's not set in the real world. You're creating something out of scratch. In those situations, it should always, right? Like the world building should always affect your characters and vice versa. And just having the world set up a certain way is going to give your characters a certain perspective. It's going to give them a certain experience. Uh, you know, Certain hardships, things to overcome, be it nature, weather, whatever it is. Thank you. An underrated author that sometimes gets overlooked in world building is Clive Barker. He is a master at the subtle aspects and balances perfectly the needed world building and the just for funsies. Gotta love the just for funsies. I am not familiar with Mr. Clive Barker. I am going to check him out. I am writing his name down, and he'll be added to the pile. Where's my pen? Here it is. The ever-growing pile of books I hope to someday read. Clive Barker books. All right. Get it. I think back to The Thief of Always and am still amazed to this day that he built so much in such a small book, but also left plenty to the imagination. You gotta love that, man. You gotta love that. When the author has this sort of dance with the reader, right? Where I'm gonna give you a little bit, but I'm also gonna hold a little back and gonna let you figure it out and play with that in your brain. Like that's beautiful stuff, man. That's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. All right, next one up. Ills. This one. Do you prefer the intricacies of a world to be presented early on or revealed throughout the book? Revealed throughout the book, absolutely. Let me see what... Yeah, okay. So, of all the things that irk me, as the novel Nana loves to say, irk, of all the things that irk me, nothing irks me more than when at the beginning of a book or the start of a show or the beginning of a movie, a title card comes up where it's like, the world is not what it used to be. In 10,000 years ago, a thing happened, and then came the ages of kings, and then the kings fell away, and then anytime you're going to dump a bunch of exposition on me to start your story, like you need me to know this stuff before you get started, I'm already out. I want everything revealed to me throughout the story as I read. I want to get thrown into a world like pushing a kid into the deep end of a pool. Figure it out, stupid. Just sink or swim, buddy. Here we go. That's what I like. Throw me in and let me figure it out. That's how I want my stories told to me, and that's how I write my stories. I hate that. You will never find in one of my books a whole thing where I'm like, the spark is a blah, 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 and you're going to come to... No, just start the fucking story. Get into it. I got heated over that one. Divergent missed the mark on several things, I believe, not just world building. I agree. Have you ever read Shepherd of the Hills? Whole lot of world building and character building, great balance in the intricate strands throughout the novel. Sounds beautiful. No, I have not, but I am adding it to the list now. Shepherd of the Hills. I gotta figure out how to have background music on this thing. I suppose it would be creating a video file with the music on it, and then playing it the way that I've been playing the videos, right? Like this one. Like it has music, right? So I just add it. But it would have to be consistently running. I don't know about that. Describe or draw your perfect world. I can't draw. I don't draw. And if I were to describe my perfect world, it would be boring because perfect worlds are boring. If I was to describe my perfect world for storytelling, I would be describing the world in my book, and that would be spoilers. So it's a really great way to not answer that question. Fuck off question 7. I don't want to answer you. All right, y'all. If you reveal everything too early, it takes the mystery out of it. And it's an info dump. A really long info dump. And info dumps suck. Don't info dump. All right, y'all. This has been great with the questions and stuff. It's still early. I still got like 20 minutes left. kind of want to keep it going, but I'm out of world building questions. If you guys have any more, and they don't have to be world building questions, I feel like we've done that, right? We've successfully discussed world building. Put that in the win column. We are good. Let's just get some chit chat going. What do you guys got going on? First of all, if Chris is still here and Amelia, if both of you are still here, I would love to know a lot more about your wedding and your whole adventure in New York. I'm so happy for you guys. Hey, what's up? How are you? Hello, welcome. We've been here for a little while. We're going to be wrapping up soon. We are not done quite yet, but we're definitely winding down. Finally catching you live and missed the world building chat. Yeah. Hey, if you have any questions, world building or otherwise, throw them in there because we're trying to kind of wind down a little bit here, but we still got some time. And yes, do catch it on the replay. I'm so glad to see you. It's so rare to see you around here. I know that our time differences, like, they don't quite line up very well. So it's good to see you. Okay, I wanted to remind everybody, whether you're here or watching this on the replay, please go to the description downstairs and visit my guest application form. You can also find it via where's the thing? Here's the thing. You can also find it via my link tree on Instagram and whatnot. This application form is for anybody who wants to be on Livestream Sunday, the Books by Adrian podcast, or both. Livestream Sunday Season 4, I am still booking. I have filled half of it, and I have 3 more, like, kind of pie in the sky big guests that I'm waiting to hear back from to see if they're on board. If they're not, then I still have their spots plus a couple more. I think I have four more. So we're talking about 7 spots, 7 open spots right now. 4 for sure and 3 possibles. So if anybody wants to be a guest next season, which starts in February, the open dates right now range from, I believe, April through May. You do not have to wait to be published. Okay? Come on and talk. Like, we want to learn. We want to learn all about it, about what you're doing, about what's coming up. I'm not published, and I'm on here. You don't have to be published. Come on the show. Go fill out the thing. It'll help me schedule your appearance as well as craft an episode around you. So go to the application. Don't wait. Do it now. I don't know that I have least favorite parts of world building. I'm sorry, I didn't read the question. If you haven't talked about this, what is your favorite and least favorite parts of world building? I don't have a least favorite part of world building. I love world building, but we were talking earlier about what is too much world building. And in my opinion, too much world building is anything that doesn't serve the plot or the story or the characters. Anything that doesn't move the story forward is too much world building. You're giving me, pretty things to look at in my imagination, but it's not doing anything for me. That's too much world building. So that's my least favorite thing, is when there's too much. But as far as, like, what makes up world building, give it all to me. Give me the languages, give me the regions, the religions, the politics. Give it all to me as long as it serves the story, as long as it is relevant to the story. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. She's going to fill it out. Yes, go do it. Yes, I'm excited. All right. On the subject of Livestream Sunday Season 4, I have a couple of bigger Authortube guests, guys with very, very large subscription numbers, subscribers, and therefore will bring a large audience to that episode. And I always get a nice little bump in numbers when I have a bigger guest on, and I often balance the season between having people larger than my channel on and having people smaller than my channel on, because I also want to help them help people find them. So season 4 is no different. I'm still trying to strike that balance. But I have to say I'm very, very excited about one guest in particular who has an audience so large. I don't want to hype it up because last time I hyped it up, the guy canceled on me. This is not the same guy. This is a different guy. But last time I got excited about a big guest, they canceled on me. This guest is bigger than that guy. So I'm really, really excited. And if all goes well and he doesn't back out, and his episode is deep in the season, it's like halfway down the season. If he doesn't back out and 1% of his audience shows up to the show, that's going to be the biggest show I've ever had. And if 10% of that audience subscribes to my channel, it will change my channel forever. It's that big. It's that big. Like I'll anyway. So I don't want to hype it up, but what I'm trying to say is I'm very excited for season 4. If things go according to plan, it should be a very transformative season for this channel, not just in how I am as a host, but also in the guests that are coming on and the numbers of subscribers. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Let's see here. I don't have a least favorite either. For me, the too much is just me having fun. I won't use it, but have fun doing it. Yeah, well, again, like, it's fun. It's all that stuff is fun, but it should serve the story. It should always serve the story. Otherwise, it's cutting room floor stuff. What else did I want to tell you guys about? I feel like there was one more thing. Okay, well, let's remove that. Well, I think that about does it for today, guys. It's been a good one. I didn't have a panic attack being alone on here like I did last time. I believe that was episode 16 of Livestream Sunday Season 3. Let me confirm. If you guys want to see me in the most uncomfortable state I have ever been on my channel, Livestream Sunday Season 3, Episode 13. I have never been more uncomfortable on my own channel before. Go watch it. It's horrendous. All right, y'all. Thank you so very much for coming. Thank you so very much for being here. Oh, I remember now what the last thing is. Oh, I'm so glad I remember before I left. Patreon. Okay. Let me go to the thing so you can see the thing. So today is January 2nd. The new version of my Patreon premiered yesterday. And I'm trying to go to the visitor, the public page. Here we are. All right, I got it. I'm going to pull it up for you. Share screen, Chrome tab, Patreon, share, add. Okay, here we go. It's very good. It's so good. All right, check it out. All right, so this is the Books by Adrian new and improved Patreon page. It has 4 tiers possible. The ground floor, or actually the underground, is the first tier, and it is $1 a month. And for $1 a month, you get to participate in the forging of this channel's future by voting on content for the channel and Patreon in polls. Every poll that I post in this Patreon is accessible to all underground members. Again, that is $1 a month. That's $1. That's all it is, $1 every month. And it's more than one poll a month. Like, there's just going to be polls all the time because I want to see what you guys want, not just on the channel, but on the Patreon, because there's going to be more integration between the two from now on. Tier 2 is The Spark. And if you are starting to put it together, these are all things that come out of my book. It is $3 a month. For it, you get what you got in the first tier, voting on content, but you also get your name and video credits for every video and stream done during your time as a patron. You also get to pre-order the novel when it becomes available for pre-order before anybody else. And if you would like to be a beta reader, this tier also makes that possible. You get to sign up as a beta reader for the finished novel, which will be coming up soon. Tier 3. Gaia, $5 a month. Everything you got in Tier 1 and 2, plus early access to the videos that I post on the channel, which will include the new show where I do commentaries on Breaking Bad episodes. You'll also get a free copy of the novel upon completion. Tier 4 is The Grid. $12 a month, everything you get in Tiers 1 through 3, plus signed copy of the finished novel with a dedication in there for you. Acknowledgement in the finished novel, meaning there'll be like a credits page in the novel and your name will be in there if you are a part of this tier. As well as and this goes for all the tiers except the first one, tiers 2 through 4. In addition to everything listed here, I'm also going to just put up surprise stuff from time to time. I'll have an exclusive video that I just want for you guys. Why is there a bug in here? How did it get in here? There's just going to occasionally be, there's going to be Patreon exclusive live streams. There's going to be Patreon exclusive podcasts. There's going to be lots of content not listed in those tiers that'll just kind of pop up from time to time. Special episodes of special things. So if anyone is interested in joining my Patreon, go to patreon.com/booksbyadrian. Sign up for the $1 a month if you want to start out small, and just give what you can, when you can. You can cancel at any time. You can pause your subscription at any time. And I hope that more and more of you come over there and sign up, because I would love for the Patreon to be more of a community. So let's try and put that together. All right, y'all. Okay. Thank you so very much, everyone, for coming. I love you guys. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Tres Reyes. All right, y'all. Peace out.